are all sitting here shooting the shit.
Yo, what's up? I'm your host, DJ Duss. Just another episode of Shooting the Shit podcast. I'm here solo today. Bam isn't here with me. Bam, the dentist took him out. So hopefully we get him back on Monday or maybe late Wednesday. I don't know. I haven't talked to him yet. So the dentist did me a favor and got him out of here. Nah, I'm kidding, man. Bam, I hope you're feeling a lot better, bro. Hope we get to see you next week, man. All right, everybody, man, I want you to know that you can follow us on Facebook. Like our Facebook page, Shooting the Shit. Like it. Watch all our live episodes. Be a part of the show. Comment, questions, etc. Same thing on YouTube, man. Shooting the Shit podcast. Press the subscribe button. Watch all the videos live. Or watch all our old ones on YouTube. Check it out, man. Comment. Be a part of the show. Or listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, actually on all major streaming platforms. That's at Shooting the Shit Podcast 1. All right, we have a special guest on here today. A real honor to have him on. I got introduced to him through a friend through Instagram. Thank God for social media. You know, Robert is a motivational and public speaker, professional prosthetic educator. Let's get him on here right now. Robert Anthony, how you doing, Robert?
Oh, I'm so excited to be on the show. Thank you, my brother, for having me.
Thank you, man. So how, just a quick side question. How did you and Jay connect? Jay from City Bookings. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually we have a mutual connection. One of my good friends is an A&R and works with DMX. Jay works in the industry as well.
That's right.
He paired us up. And then from there, the rest is history.
Yeah, no, you know, I know we do a lot of music on our podcast and we usually do a lot of discussions, but having something like this year, we've had a great start. You know, we had someone that was in the movie business. Now we have you. Like this year, I think this year our podcast is actually expanding to where I want it to be. I just don't want to be one dimensional. You know what I mean? And
yes,
when
sir.
Jay came to me with this story, I was like, man, this is dope, man. I looked you up a little bit. I was like, wow, I was blown away, man. Really appreciate having you on. But let's get right into it, Robert, man. Where were you born and raised?
So I was born and raised in Long Island, New York, moved around a lot. And, you know, it wasn't easy growing up, especially a young man in that era, you know, of hip hop and the culture in New York. So moved around from Long Island to Queens and kind of lived with a lot of different family members growing up.
So tell us a bit about your story, about the age and what happened to you.
Yeah. So when I was born, I had a birth defect called fibula hemimelia. So I only have a tibia bone in my leg and I'm missing my fibula. So I was amputated at 10 months old and my mom had to make the decision. She didn't know if she was going to try to do limb lengthening where they generate your bone back basically.
Oh, okay.
Bedridden for 8 to 10 months or just to amputate. And I'm glad to say today that she made the right decision to amputate so that this way I can, you know, be as active as I am today.
Yeah, it's dope, man. It's a dope story because believe it or not, this hits close to home. My dad actually has a prosthetic leg. And
really?
Yes. I didn't want to tell you this before. I wanted to tell you on the show, right?
Ooh,
and then he gave me the okay last week when I told him I was having you on, and he was really excited to hear about your story. And he's like, feel free to let him know. And in his case, it was an accident. It was one of those. He was on the farm, one of these tractors. You know, they were little. They were running across. One tripped, the leg got caught, and then he went away to Toronto for some surgery. So, you know, because the bone kept growing, surgery, etc. So, right. But like, if you saw this guy, it reminds me of you in a certain way. The fact that he was always at the gym. No, like when I used to tell good friends of mine, like my dad never, his only downfall was he never wanted anyone to know. And when I saw you, I was like, fuck, maybe you can knock some sense into him. You know what I mean? I love this. So
question, how long has it been since his accident?
Really?
How many years has he been an amputee?
Like literally, he's 68 a few weeks ago. So literally, like he was like maybe like I think it was like 10 or 11. So it's been like yeah. Like
I was the same way, brother. So I hid it for many years. I spent so many years depressed, and again, back then it wasn't accepted on, you know, just having prosthetic legs being cool, where you have commercials and people wearing it more fashionable today. So I wore pants and I hid it for years.
It's crazy. Yeah.
I had people, once I started, when social media came prominent and Facebook, after MySpace a little bit and Facebook came out, I did some photos and put some photos up missing my leg. And there were people in high school that I went to school with, didn't even know. They were like, wait, what happened to your leg? When did this happen? And I'm like,
it's crazy. Yeah.
All through high school, I was missing my leg and they were shocked.
It was a good friend of mine, my friend Carm. He's on the podcast sometimes. So he, you know, he's known growing up. You know, I told him, and we all went on this big vacation and my parents were there, and he leaned over to my dad. He's like, is it true? Like, is it like, you know what I mean? And then when I kind of pulled, he's like, yeah, it is, you know? And he was just like, wow, like great guy, worked every day, worked physical jobs. Like he's a story. He's an inspiring story all by itself, but he hit it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I swear to God, when you got, introduced to me, I was just like, wow, this is great, and it was just one of those things. I tried to explain to him on vacation, Robert, that I was like, fuck, wear some shorts. Wear the shorts. Fuck it, right? And he goes, no, I'm not gonna wear shorts. And I had to point at this big European guy in Speedos and be like, if this guy doesn't care, neither should you. You know what I mean? So
I mean, you gotta flex it. And again, I ran from it for so many years. Your dad and I are one and the same.
Yeah.
He became a spy with it, and that's what I often say. I was like a spy with my leg. People couldn't tell. Perfected the limp and everything. So kudos to your dad and shout out to him.
Absolutely. So Robert, you like you were saying, you were wearing pants. How was it growing up, man?
Man, it wasn't easy, to be completely honest. Technology wasn't what it is today.
That's right.
I often broke my prosthetic foot playing basketball or playing sports, and my mom would have to duct tape the foot until I can get a second one.
Yeah.
Of course, kids made fun of me, often had to defend myself and fight, and just try to. It took me a while to embrace who I was and what I looked like. I went through so many other things besides my leg. I'm a victim of a house fire. When I was 2 days before Christmas, my house burned down.
Wow.
Lost my grandmother in that fire. And that caused my mom and my aunt to raise me and to work 2 jobs to try to provide for me. So I bounced around from a lot of house, a lot of my dad was in my life, but he was in and out, if you will. So he was available, but not available sometimes.
Yeah, I feel you. See, with my dad, with the same thing with technology, I remember he would always go to these doctors, right, where they would show him the whole, like, the new legs and stuff, and he would always come back and be like, you should see what the hell's going on out there. It's crazy, because him back in the day, I remembered coming home from work and have these huge blisters, right? Because of certain movements in the rubbing, and then the socks weren't working or whatever the case may be. So yeah, technology's come a real long way. It's great. That's something I want to talk to you about that after. But so when did you say screw it and got right into sports?
So again, for my dad, so he was actually one of the biggest people that pushed me to be an athlete, right? To play basketball, to play baseball. And he was one of the first people to say, hey, you need to wear shorts. My dad would make me wear shorts when I didn't want to wear shorts. So that was interesting, which forced me to come out of my comfort zone. And I started playing sports at a young age, started playing baseball, got into basketball. And then I realized it was a way to show people what I can do instead of what I couldn't.
That's cool, man. That's dope, though. You're also pretty high up on some soccer team.
Yes, sir.
Damn.
Actually, that's one of the flags there. I'm on the United States Amputee soccer team. I've played in the World Cup. People can Google it. Team USA versus Nigeria. You can see me scoring a header in the World Cup.
God damn, Robert, man. Come on, man. Guys making me look bad now. I don't want to. You guys, man. I was watching your pictures, watching the videos. I'm so impressed, man. It was. Man. Now, was there something that inspired you to say, "Fuck it"?
Yeah, absolutely. So many things, my brother. If you want me to be completely honest,
yeah, please, man.
They're milestones, right? But I believe that the scars. Once I started wearing my scars, whether it was a girl who I wanted to date that didn't like me, again, my foot breaking, in the Little League championships, and me not being able to play in a championship, or just being embarrassed completely and stepping out of my comfort zone. But one of my biggest factors was when I met my first amputee. When I saw my first person that was missing his legs, which was Cameron Clapp, he was missing both of his legs above the knee. I'm very fortunate to have my knee.
Yeah.
He wasn't telling me I could do anything. He was showing me I can do anything. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start rocking my metal out and start being more adaptive. I wanted to fit in and be normal. And then I started pursuing this adaptive life and getting into adaptive sports, because I played sports with able-bodied people my entire life. Baseball, basketball, football on able-bodied teams. But once I found adaptive sports, I just got drunk off it, man, and went crazy.
That's fucking awesome, man. I love it. So reading your bio, checking out your website and stuff, you were on American Ninja Warrior season 9. Can you tell me about the audition and the whole experience in general?
Man, I will sum it up. It's a very interesting situation. Being on the show was amazing, but it was actually everything that was happening around that. So I actually play hockey, which is one of my hockey jerseys there, sled hockey. And I I was supposed to go to American Ninja Warrior to compete in Cleveland on a Tuesday.
Okay.
At the same time, my wife's father was dying of cancer. Oh. So the week before, I go to a hockey tournament in Massachusetts, and I dislocate my shoulder. Doctors told me you'll be out for 12 weeks. Do not go on American Ninja Warrior. I get back that Sunday. Her dad got worse. We were supposed to leave to Cleveland on Tuesday, and that's when he passed away. I had to call them and tell them I couldn't make it. Wow. But then I said, you know what? If you guys have space in the last city, which was Denver, I'll go. Okay. They hung up the phone. They called me back and said, if you think you'll be healed, then we'll send you. I couldn't even lift my shoulder, my brother. Could not.
Oh, no.
But I actually went to Florida. We were like the following week before I was going to Denver, and I saw a girl in a wheelchair in the supermarket, and she approached me and said, "You're Robert Rodriguez. You play basketball. You inspired me to walk after I lost my leg." Oh, and my best friend, who's a state trooper, he looked at me and was like, "Man, you got people in Florida that you've inspired like that." And that was my sign to go on American Ninja Warrior. I did. I didn't tear my rotator cuff. I got off on the second obstacle, which was the swing, where I tried to flip it on, and I couldn't take it. I backflipped into the water.
I guess so, right? Yeah.
And I brought my son, so he got a chance to see me compete at that level. My dad went. My aunt, who actually was in the fire with me, who suffered third-degree burns on her body, she came, and it was a chance for me to show my family that you can approach anything. Anything's possible. Being on the show was amazing, and I plan on going back and being the first amputee up the world wall.
Oh, let's do it, man. I'd love to see you on that. That show is so addictive. So, and I even watched the American Ninja Warrior Kids.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm just like, damn, they're so impressive. That show is so impressive, man. It's such a cool thing. Now, how did it come about? Like, was it something that you applied for? Did they come to you?
So I was one of those guys that I watched it for many years, and I'm on the edge of the bed, and my wife is like, I can do that. I can do that. And my wife,
nice.
Do it. You should do it. And I'm like, I think I will. So being on other television shows that I've been on, Ink Masters, Damages, Force, 7 Seconds, I said, you know what? I can do this. So I submit to the show. Funny enough, I was on another hockey tournament, and I was trying out for another show on Netflix. They called me and told me I didn't get the show. The next day was my birthday, and American Ninja Warrior called me and was like, "Hey, you want to be American Ninja Warrior?" So I was like, "Forget that Netflix, let's do it." And I felt honored to be on the show and kind of showcase my talents.
That is fucking awesome. That's a great story, man. I love that, man. So now, can you talk to me a bit about the technology of the prosthetic legs, or just equipment in general? Can you tell me more about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So technology, again, now our legs are made out of carbon fiber, if you will. And actually, bear with me 1 second.
Absolutely.
If you will, if you guys check out my photo, this is like kind of like the running leg that we use. The foot is carbon fiber as well. The socket is carbon fiber, and this is the strongest material. They do have fiberglass feet that are made, and back in the day, we used to have something called satch feet, and just kind of clunky things, if you will, where you didn't get energy return if you rolled over. Actually, got a better.
Oh yeah.
So if you roll over, pardon the back, but the heel to the toe.
That's right.
A lot of the spring comes off the toe. That's where the energy return is. So as I'm like rolling over, you want to have a better foot that has more of see the curve here on a smaller foot where I can compact and release. So if I'm playing basketball, baseball, whatever it is, but back in the day, we didn't have that. And like now we have gel socks, which make it comfortable. Yeah. Where you're not just beating up the inside of your residual limb. So technology has made a complete 380.
That is crazy. Dude, I'm telling you, technology, I remember because, I'm 40, right? So watching me grow up my whole life with my dad, like, I remember when they put toes on the feet and he was so happy about it. You know what I mean? Like, he was like, damn, this is cool.
First off, you're 40, you're looking kind of clean.
Dude, that's all I do.
I like it.
The trick is, boys, is to keep the fat on your face to get rid of the wrinkles. There's not cream. I'm just telling you.
Pen and pad. Let me write this down. I need that.
Man. That's the way you look young. You gotta get rid of the wrinkles by making sure you're not losing too much weight on the face. That's the trick, bro.
Yep. So just to add, like you said, the satch feet didn't have indentations in the toes. So this one does. Actually, they have split toes. So now I can wear chancletas, whatever I need. You know what I mean? My mom is actually more excited about that than I am.
That is so cool. Yeah, because that was the first thing I remember every time my dad came back. Because a certain amount of years he was allowed to get something new, and he was going back, and he'd just come back, and he'd be like, "Oh my god, it's futuristic." I remember like he was just like so excited to hear what was out there for him, And I was like, man, this thing's really cool. He's like, "You got to check this thing out." And I don't know, man. It was some dope stuff, man. It's I love where technology. Because let's be honest, like they've literally like with the pictures that I've seen in some of the videos, like there's no difference with you. You can smoke some people on the basketball court and on the field.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's incredible. And I'm really happy because you know what?
People in any sport, my brother.
Exactly. See what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. I love it, man. So you know what? You start playing sports. You say, fuck it. You do it. You're like, you know what I mean? But now you're this little girl, you inspired someone in Florida. When did you start becoming a motivational public speaker? When did this all start?
So interesting, man. So that's an amazing question. So I was a part of the world's first stand-up amputee basketball team, actually, right there. And some of the photos that you showed was called Amp One. And my second trip with Amp One, what we would do was we would actually play basketball and then speak, whether at a church or a school, whatever it was. And my second trip with them, we went to Indiana, and it was a Friday, and we spoke at this church. We crossed everybody up. We won the game. But when we got back to our hotel, we got a Facebook message from a 13-year-old girl who said that her parents got divorced. She was down and out, not doing well in school, and she had a plan to commit suicide that weekend. But her best friend convinced her to come to our speech. And our motto at the time was to never give up, and how we changed her lives. I realized at that exact moment, that was another milestone in my life, that playing sports is amazing. I love to showcase my talent. It's been given to me that I could just walk and be out there. But speaking and sharing my message was bigger than I was. It was way bigger than me, and that was my purpose. So my passion to continue to be an athlete, but my purpose was to help and inspire others. So from there, I continued on speaking kind of with the group, and then I made my own career and built it up throughout New York. And then luckily enough, a good friend of mine on the USA Amputee soccer team named Josh Sundquist, in 2018, he took me under his wing and basically helped me catapult my career, where I was traveling all over the country, speaking to more companies, more schools, and more people available. So I was already doing it. He was a well-known speaker, and he saw what I was doing and put me under his wing. And that really was the takeoff for me.
That's cool. Now, like, okay, so you overcome a bunch of obstacles up to this point. Was public speaking another obstacle?
Man, it wasn't another.
See what I'm saying? Like,
I have 2 children and a wife. I spoke for free for 4 years until I received my first paycheck. I was traveling around, getting tickets on my car, paying for gas, taking time off of work, losing money to fulfill this dream and this mission that I knew was going to happen. I got my first check in October of 2016, and I never looked back since then. But the hurdles are constant, because it's not just speaking. You have to prepare for the speech. You're speaking to thousands of people sometimes at a time. You have to prepare your slideshow. If you have giveaways, the camera, the music. I mean, there's so many things, and you have to be on the entire time. So it's always a hurdle. I love it. And I honestly feel blessed to be able to share my message with others.
It's funny because I find the more prepared you are, the smoother everything goes. It looks like you didn't do any work. But they have no idea all the work you put in behind it to make everything go so nice, to make it look like it was effortless. There's like, I get that. I did it with DJing. I used to DJ weddings, podcasts, sometimes they see us for 30, 40 minutes, but for me, there's hours of work behind it and research and how I want to design things and how I want to promote it. So there's more to it. And that's what I mean, but it's true. So I get what you're saying, the slideshows and everything. Yeah.
That's where I learned it from. So I don't know. So I have a background in hip hop music. Actually got a microphone tattooed on my arm. So
look,
Chino Vega. People can actually Google that and look at my videos online. Chino and then VEGAA. But so I did many concerts, a lot of prepping as a music artist.
There you go,
rapping. And then I also had a company where we hosted. My boy was the DJ, I was the host, and we did weddings, bar mitzvahs.
Perfect.
Everything under the sun. So that actually prepped me to be a motivational speaker.
That's exactly. So you took one thing and then, that's awesome. You know what I mean? That's what I took. Trust me, I was scared shitless a few times when I used to MC weddings and be like, why is everyone looking at me weird? Or who's this guy with the mic? You know, why isn't Uncle so-and-so not doing this? And you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, so I got a lot of I shook a lot of that stuff off. So for me doing podcasting after a while, it was actually a lot easier for me because first time I was like, man, I'm going to get on the mic, let's hear myself again. I was like, Jesus, I don't like this. But I end up loving it. And the best part about the podcast is if it wasn't for this podcast, I'd never have the chance to meet someone like you. Yes, so it's an honor for me to do stuff like this. So I really, really like it.
It's an honor to be on.
So let's talk. So this is aside. So the hip hop. So who was your influence to start enjoying or listening to hip hop or even performing?
Man. So that's an amazing question too. So obviously, I'm 33. I'm not too far behind you, and so I grew up in. Where's the gap? We're closing the gap.
Yeah, now we are. When you hit the 30s, yeah. When we're all both in the 40s, we'll never talk about this again.
Exactly. But obviously, I grew up in that Biggie, Tupac era, and being a victim of abuse or a house fire or missing my leg, I often used to call myself like the prosthetic, like Tupac. So that was my my vision growing back up in that time. I also had my misbehavior era with gangs and being a knucklehead, because that G Unit Dipset time in New York was tough. It was tough.
So true.
People don't. If you did not live in New York at that time, you would not understand how it was just walking past people, at that age. But so interesting enough, that Tupac was my biggest fan and idol, and the poetry, the acting, all of those things were something that I looked up to. Biggie because his play word, because his wordplay. And those were huge influences for me, as a young man and someone who's getting into music.
We got blessed in that era of listening to two of those great rappers. Like we were totally blessed on that sense.
Yeah. Because I grew up listening to Been Around the World. My mom, Stevie Wonder. Obviously, my mother and my father say Luther Vandross is my second father. Things. Yes. So music was just everything to me.
That's dope, man. That's dope. Now, is there any new artists that you enjoy listening to?
Man, I still listen to a lot of old music.
So do I. Trust me.
I mean, but I do I try to get into the new stuff. So I do like new stuff. I mean, obviously, I love Drake. I mean, that's just one in a million.
It's funny you said that. There was something on the news today. It was Drake hit 50 billion streams. Is that insane? Like 50 billion. I was like, holy man, you're doing something right.
It's there's levels. People are here and he's there.
Oh wow, man! Yeah, it's funny.
There's cool new artists though. The Baby. Lil Baby, a little bit more too. Like just things that have people who can put together good music. I guess it's not like back in the day where you used to buy an album and that was your album for like a month until a new album came out, right? Now it's like I like this song, and that's what I'm on.
It's so changed. I know a lot of the guys that we interview, we usually interview a couple young cats, and it's like they have no idea about that era. The actual going to buy the full album, or you know what I mean, or even people coming up like pushing their CDs, getting it pressed. Now it's like uploaded, and I'm not saying it's better. I'm having a podcast with someone on Friday, and one of the topics is streaming, and it's pathetic. Like I don't know how they broke down these numbers on how many stream. Like it's to make money on streaming is on another.
The game has changed.
It's definitely changed.
No one's buying albums, so you got to get money off the streams.
Definitely changed. But you know what? Do what I think it happened to? I think it pushed. If you noticed that when the game changed, there's also been more shows, which is good for us. It's a bit greedy on my part, but because I live in the capital of Canada, and the shows would skip us. It would go from Toronto to Montreal. It would skip us. So either you'd go to one or the other. Now they're not skipping us. They need that extra whatever 1,000 to come through now. They need to come through now, right? So now shows are stopping through because now it's like the streaming's okay, it's great, but now these live shows is where you make all the money, right?
That's the real money. That is the real money. I mean, and that's kind of was my thing even as a performer. And when people ask me even to go back to music, so I rap during my speeches. So kind of how we're speaking now, I'll usually build up to that point in my life, and I say this is when I was a rapper. And then I rap,
that's dope.
That point across. So that's kind of my time to shine still.
I love that, man. So I saw something so I want you to tell me a bit more about Limp Possible. Like how did that come together?
Absolutely. So Limp Possible, after I was getting out of that era of I was participating, volunteering my time, just doing anything I can. So my word to anyone who's listening, tuning in, if you love something, you have a passion, obsess over it. Volunteer your time, get involved, find a club. That's how I became successful in every area of my life, being professional in the prosthetic industry, being a top tier elite athlete, as well as being a professional motivational speaker. And I volunteered my time and did all three of those things for free before I ever received a dime from any of the categories. So volunteering your time, is the first piece. And I did that, and I realized I was all over the place, but I need to put it together. And within that, after I was speaking, I wanted to have a foundation for my speaking. I had ended up getting paid, my first few thousand. It was December now, so I got that first check in October. Now it's December of 2016, and I got a few thousand. And I came back from doing a speech, and I went to Brooklyn, and I talked to this guy. We did an interview, and after that, he was an entrepreneur I didn't realize that owned the gym, sat with me for 2 hours and was like, you can do this on your own. You don't have to do this with these other organizations, because right now I was getting money and then breaking people off for all the work that I was doing because I was using their name. Right?
Oh, yes.
I was like, wait, what am I doing? So I created my own organization. I grabbed the insight of other people, and then I created Limb Possible, where it was all inclusive. I didn't have to single out for one category or one sport or one situation, just Limb Possible instead of impossible. And the motto is anything's possible.
That's awesome. No, I loved it, man. I thought it was a good name. It's well done. But you're right. And the thing is, I always tell everyone, you have to do the free stuff. You need to get out there, and the more things you do free is going to make you better. Whatever it is. If you got your foot into DJing, public speaking, or whatever the case may be, performing, do whatever you can. Because I used to talk to some young kids. If the show's not big enough, I wasn't big enough. No. If there's 5 people, do it. That's how you get better. You know what I mean? So they just got to get past that. And you're right. It's the grind. It's the love. If you love it, do it. But you're right. At one point, you have to collect it all together and, make the best of it. But that's cool. That's some good advice, man. Because when you notice that someone noticed that you can do it on your own, damn right, man. Do it on your own.
Yeah, that's the only way, my brother, is to just honestly take initiative. Be proactive. I've learned that around the way, to be completely honest. Both of my parents are hustlers. So, my mom was a single Black mother. My dad's Puerto Rican from the Bronx and went to Long Island. They're hustlers. Mm-hmm. So I learned how to hustle by watching them, and that's the same thing I try to show to my kids, because they're growing up in this era where everything is handed to them, right? Yep. Instant gratification. Mm-hmm. And the biggest thing is being able to be proactive. If you want something, be consistent. But we're in an era of I don't like this over here, I'll go over here, or I have options. I have so many things to choose from. So sticking it out is the key. I've been able to do that, and I had great examples.
Yeah, I try to tell kids that, we didn't have Netflix growing up. Didn't have shows to pick from. Is you missed it.
Listen, I tell my daughter, so we have obviously Amazon Prime, Netflix, this and that. So she's on Nickelodeon, and I didn't record it. So she's like, she missed it. She's like, well, I want to watch it. I want to watch it now. I'm like, well, you actually have to wait for it to come back on again next time.
Yes.
There's nothing I can do. So patient.
I was like, what? Wait, what's going on here?
Yes, sir.
All right, Robert, I want to ask you 10 random questions. I want to get people to know you a little bit better. Let's get right into it. So we mentioned a lot of sports that you play.
Yes, sir.
What's your favorite one to play?
Oh, man, easy. Right now, it's triathlon. I'm trying to go into the Paralympics for this year, 2021, for swim, bike, and run. So swim, bike, and run, favorite sport.
Damn, man. All right. So growing up, again, in the sports scene, who's your favorite athlete?
My favorite athlete, I'm going to say LeBron James right now, and Matt Frazier, just because the way that they keep their bodies top tier year in, year out, and that's consistent.
LeBron James is the fact of a new breed of taking care of your body, playing at a high level at his age. There is no sign of slowing down. This guy is incredible. It's incredible.
No scandals, cheating on his wife, no extraness. The only drama you can pick apart is his hairline and stuff, his whining on the court. But otherwise, taking care of his body and being a good person he is.
But you know what? Yeah, you're right. You know what I mean? He doesn't have time to cheat on his wife because he's working on that damn body. That's why, man. Your first job ever.
Facts. My first job was Aeropostale at the mall. I was 16, and I think I was behind compared to the rest of my family. Everybody was working at 14, but I was working at my uncle's house. But my first official job at 16 was Aeropostale at the mall.
Now, what'd you do there?
Bags.
Oh, nice. Mine was McDonald's, brother. McDonald's.
I like it.
Back in the day, it was the guy, because this is how it was back in the day. It was like the guys were supposed to work in the back flipping burgers, and they put the girls in the front. And the time they hired, I guess they screwed up. They hired 3 dudes, so I was stuck with the girls in the front. Wasn't complaining, just letting you know. I was just like, some the guys in the back. He's in the front. I'm like, yeah, you in the back. You know what I mean? So who was? Yeah,
I'll stay up here.
Yeah, I don't know. Damn me, that sucks. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, what's your favorite food to eat?
My favorite food to eat is salmon, just because I think it can balance me out the most. I love steak, but I'm trying to get off the red meat a little bit, so we're going with salmon.
I feel you, man. That steak sits there too long when you digest it, for sure. So, name me some hobbies that that we don't know about you. Is there any special hobbies that you would tell us?
I'm gonna keep it 1,000 on this show. Probably the one hobby that I need to separate myself a little bit from is Call of Duty. That's one of the things that I'm locked into for the time when I'm not training or spending time with the family is Call of Duty.
I was a victim of Call of Duty one time. I always tell the story. It was I don't remember. It was a Call of Duty. I'm living at my parents' house. It's 4 a.m. I'm downstairs, and like they got better over the years. We know this one guy kept killing me and killing me and killing me. And it's about 4 a.m. and I yell, "Fuck!" as loud as I can. But because I was so in the moment. And then my dad's like, gets out and he's like, you all right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to shut this thing off now.
It's time to go. Yeah.
I'm like,
I start doing mobile now and I do it in the bed. It makes it worse. So.
Oh, no, man. Yo, Alex is a good friend of mine. DJ went up, was on the show. He's like, yo, let's tear some COD. Yeah, some COD, yeah. Me and Deuce are looking for some. Yeah, no. Come on, man. I haven't played in a while, man. I don't want to get my ass whooped no more. I don't want to start yelling at 4 a.m. You know what I'm saying?
It's addictive. It's addictive.
Oh, dude, I've been there. What's on your bucket list?
My bucket list, I've accomplished a lot, but I think skydiving, man, is still up there. Skydiving.
Dude, if I showed you all 88 episodes, I'm telling you 80 of them say skydiving. What the hell's wrong with you guys?
It's got to happen. I was going to do it, my mom's and my wife, and, it's got to happen. And like, oh, what about your leg? It's it's going to happen.
How about my heart? Fuck the leg. My heart. I'm going to have a heart attack when
No, you're going to be good. No. You need that rush as a person. I need that rush at least.
Yeah, you can do 2. You can jump twice. Yours and mine. I'm
an Aries, brother. Fire sign.
Oh my God. Everyone I talk to, they're like, skydiving. And I'm like, why, man? I don't know. I'm going to take that question out. I don't want to talk about this anymore. So what's your favorite movie?
Oh, man. I don't even know if I have a favorite movie at this time. Listen, I'm going to go with, I can't even tell you, man. I got a lot of favorites right now. I just watched that 2020 hilarious documentary on Netflix. So funny. What was it? 20, I don't even know, but it was funny. There's a lot of good movies out there, man. I enjoy TV. And, man, I just watched this documentary in Nigeria about the hyena men. That's my favorite movie right now. I encourage everyone to go to YouTube right now and type in the hyena men. That's my favorite movie right now.
Dude, I need something sometimes at work, man. I get these long breaks sometimes, so I'll definitely download that. The thing is, I had a favorite movie. My favorite movie. Okay, everyone looks at me like I'm fucking crazy because the title's called Blow, but I like the storyline. With Johnny Depp. You know what I'm saying?
Blow is a great movie.
Okay, so he gets caught. He just wants one more, to help him and his daughter, and he gets busted. You know what I mean? And he trusted some friends. Whatever. The story's cool. I end up watching the actual dude. So the dude that Johnny Depp played, he was on Vlad TV, and this interview was so fucking terrible that I don't want to root for this movie no more. Like I was like, I've been telling everyone I love this movie, and this guy, he was such a bonehead, it pissed me off. But anyway, that was my favorite movie. But now I gotta reevaluate my life now. Okay, so
I'll coincide that. Let's go with Wolf of Wall Street. If you're going with Blow, I'll go with Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street was dope, man. When he comes back with that, what is it, the Ferrari or Lamborghini, and he thought he got back safe, and then the cops like, that was the best. I love that movie. I actually watched it not too long ago. It's 3 hours, but it's fucking fun to watch. So,
yes, sir.
Your favorite TV show?
Woo! Right now, let's go with Cobra Kai. I'm feeling that right now. I know it's super simple. My wife and I watch it together, so it's cool.
Are you all caught up?
I am caught up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can say whatever you need to say.
I'm bad. When it's on, I'm like, I don't know. I got to write everyone off. I got to finish it, right? So,
Yep.
But are you not impressed how they put everything together from the movie?
So I am extremely impressed with the flashback clips.
Yeah.
I mean, the storylines. I said it to my wife. I said, I need to know how they directed this movie. Did someone write the script and then say, hey, we need to get the characters before we shoot? Or did you say, do we need to get the characters available first and then we write the script? I need to know how.
It's so true, man. It ties up so well. They're actually getting them back. I was like, what the hell, man? Up to like even the mom, and I was like so blown away. It's done extremely, extremely well. The only thing that I find crazy is how come all these kids can fight and there's never any cops? Because where I was from, a little different, right?
There's a lot of fights going down and nobody's breaking them up.
They're fighting in malls and inside a house. I was like, but dude, the show. Yeah, exactly.
And they all get to go back to school together. Like what?
Yeah, and without any supervision. That's what. Besides that, movies, the episodes are done great. Actually, Alex was just commenting because it was a YouTube exclusive at first, right? So he ended up getting, I don't know, the YouTube package. What is it, the premium? And then he added me to it, and he's like, dude, you got to watch this. And it was addicting. At first, the first season, I used to go to his house and be like, put it on. So definitely a dope show. If anybody hasn't watched that, Cobra Kai, definitely worth watching.
And I'm going to add to that. My other favorite show is Power. I got to add Power to that list.
Are you watching the what is it? The other
book 2, Power of Book 2 Ghost? Love it.
If I don't want to interrupt my computer, I swear to God, it's on my TV right now.
Listen, that's how I work, man. Perfect timing. That's how I roll, baby.
It's actually on the TV right now. That's what I was watching before. It was on Prime. It's on Prime, so I've been popping it on. That's exactly what I've been watching.
Yeah, go catch that.
Power's a dope show. I told a friend of mine, you haven't seen it, you have to see it. Very good show. So at the end of the day, after you've done so much already, but what are some of your goals? What are you still accomplishing? Where are you going to?
So what's recently happened to me almost 2 years ago now, I got hired. So I worked in the prosthetic industry professionally for over 6 years, but honestly, I had a job that started me off. It was kind of like being in college, if you will. And now I'm at my dream company, which is actually the company I went to as a kid, which is actually the largest prosthetic company in the world, Hanger Clinic. So I'm honored to be a professional prosthetic educator, community care coordinator, for servicing New York and the whole tri-state area. So just building myself up in that career because they're also sponsoring me in my other goal, which is to get to the Olympics and win a gold medal in triathlon. So that's the major goal. That's what we're working on towards right now. I've put in a lot of hours and I'm still continuing to do so. And then to continue growing as a motivational speaker, a better father and husband. That's
dope, man. Before you get on the Olympics and before you start heading out, you got to come back on. I want to talk about more about your training and shit, man. And then, and obviously if you end up doing, you go to the Olympics, I want you back on after because I want to talk about your experiences there. We got to live through you now, all right?
I'm doing it for all of us. I'm putting this on our back.
I love it, man. I love it. It's inspiring to death, man. I really love hearing it, man. So if you had one word to describe yourself, what word would it be?
Fire.
Love it, man. I love it.
Yes, man. I'm a victim of a house fire. I'm an Aries sign. That's my personality.
Yeah. Fire. That's dope, man. So I want to let people know where they can follow you. They can follow you on Twitter. That's at Robert Anthony. On Instagram at robertanthony.speaker. Also, they can catch you on your website, right? www.robertanthony.us.
Yes, sir.
And then even if you just forgot everything else, go to his website. You know what? Just Google his name. I know that's when for me, I'm always like, damn, man, these guys. You Google their name and I'm like, makes my job a lot easier as a podcaster to be like, all right, quick research though. But it's the website's done really, really well. I love how you have it simplified and then you have all the links to it.
Working on it. Actually, I'm looking to redo it. So anybody want to help kind of brush it up? Let me know.
Oh man, yeah, I know. I looked at my website too. I'm like, yeah, because what would you change on your website? Do you have a vision for it?
Oh, I got a vision. I won't explain all of that, but I have some things that I want to incorporate, and a lot of things up and coming. So I'm looking for more help. So I'm a one-man show. I've built my career from the ground up, from nothing into something, and with the help of the people, my people along the way. But it's all me in and out in regards to accomplishing these tasks. And I'm always happy to have some help. and I'm always happy to give some help as well.
Absolutely, Robert, man. That's down. If I know anyone that could hook you up, man, I'm going to definitely link them your way. I'll hook you guys up on Instagram. But Robert, before I end the interview, I want you to talk about what inspired you to do your commercial. Anything's possible.
Man, so that's an amazing question too. So I was very fortunate enough to continue to start a documentary. Once I was getting involved in these sports, and I was at that turning point in my life, and we had put some videos out and on YouTube, and then this gentleman who was doing commercials saw me and asked me if I wanted to do it, so I didn't get paid for it or anything, but I used that commercial actually to get on American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah.
I've used that for numerous amount of bookings, and that actually led to my film, which is out. Everyone can watch it as well, called Able, which was nominated for an Emmy in 2019.
Oh, that's dope, man. That's dope. Robert, brother, I'm so happy. I know Robert, by the way, was scrambling to get on here on time. I appreciate it.
So listen, man, it's been a crazy day. If I can tell you my day, it's been insane. But I was here, I was on time, and we made it happen.
Absolutely, brother. It's been a true pleasure. You're so inspiring, man. Don't ever give up what you're doing. And you know what? The stories you gave me, I hope next time we go on, I hope to hear more stories about what people have said and how you inspired them. It's fucking great. And I got to thank Jay for linking us, because this was fantastic.
Yeah.
And
I mean, can I get some shout outs?
Yeah, man, please do.
Yes. Well, thank you to Jay, City Bookings. I see my parents, and I got a lot of other people tuned in, so shout out to them, of course. They put me here. Shout out to my trainers, A3, Aquaterra, and man, this is the year. Shout out to you. And I appreciate you for having me on the show, my brother. I love what you're doing. Watching your podcast. I'm just honored to shoot the shit.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for shooting the shit. We'll get you on soon, my brother. Peace.
Appreciate you.
Later.
My whole life, I've always been told that I can't do something, or you won't be able to. I've always been different, and I've had no one who could relate to what I'm going through. It was always me finding and me searching. I had to grow up. I had to teach myself everything. I knew that I had to jump higher. I knew I had to focus a little more. I knew I had to put in a little bit more time to be faster. I pushed myself, and I pushed myself so hard. I've been called a crippled, handicapped, disabled, gimp. But I don't trip off those, man. I want people to see me as someone who inspires them to do better and to be better, despite the circumstances.